Right guys, I realise this is my third video for the day, but what the hell. This is a response to MaximumRD's video. Do I care about backwards compatibility? This is a tough one for me, because with previous generation consoles, including the current ones of today, I really couldn't have given a damn about backwards compatibility. Compatibility? Where the hell did that come from? Compatibility. It just didn't fuss me at all whatsoever. But it bothers me now. Now that you have a gamer tag or a PSN name with trophies and achievements attached to it, if there's not backwards compatibility, I can't say that word today. If there's not backwards compatibility in the next gen, that's me out the game. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to come across as sounding like an achievement whore, but I care about my gamer tag. I've spent a lot of time with it now. I've watched it grow. It's something it's personal to me. And if I then take that gamer tag onto the next generation of console and can't continue to progress on games that I'm still working on, I'm going to be a very unhappy bunny. I mean, I'm not interested in the future generation of consoles at the moment anyway. As far as I'm concerned, the lack of pre-owned game compatibility and all the rumours and whatnot are flying about, which has completely put me off. As far as I'm concerned at this moment in time, I'm never going to be bothered about the next gen of consoles. But if it had backwards compatibility, and I mean 100% working backwards compatibility, I would be there. I'd buy it straight away. Now, I do understand to a certain extent why consoles don't include backwards compatibility. I don't understand what went on with the PlayStation 3, how they went backwards compatible to PS1 for one system for PS2 and the rest no. I think it's something to do with PS2 games still being readily available in Japan or something. I could be completely wrong. I don't want to go running my mouth and not have the right information, but I don't understand that one at all. If they are going to make something backwards compatible, they need to do it 100% or not at all. I honestly don't care if the compatibility is going to run up the price of the console, because it's a bonus that I'm willing to pay for. If they did like split editions, like one with a compatibility, one without, one with being more expensive, I would go for the more expensive one. Now, the reason I was never bothered in the past about it is because of the whole gamer tag thing. There was nothing attaching your games to anything else. You couldn't use your memory cards across all systems. It just, nothing crossed. It just didn't matter. And consoles back then usually were released with a lot more games and you had a lot more choice to dive straight into, but these days you don't. But say if I was to buy a new system now, there'd be 2 games out for it. I'm going by the 3DS standards, and for all I know, those 2 games could be the only 2 games available for a couple of months. I'm not going to buy a system where I can only play 2 games. I like a lot of variety in my gaming life. Case numero uno. And having backwards compatibility to begin with means that I can play those new titles and continue with my old ones. That's just a major plus for me. Basically, yes, it does matter to me now. It didn't once upon a time, but it's the thing that's going to gauge whether I'm interested in the future market. Now, obviously, I can't see the future generation of consoles including any backwards compatibility at all. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't really read up on the news for it because I'm just not that fussed for it. My mind is pretty much focused on building my 360 collection at the moment. But if they don't want pre-owned sales anymore, I can't see them encouraging it by saying, yeah, you can play old and used games on this new console. It's just not going to happen. That's presuming that whole pre-owned thing is true, which again, I don't know. I'm running my mouth off without the information to back it up, but I'm only going with the information that I've got at the moment. Also, another reason as to why it didn't matter back then is because when a new console was coming out, as far as performance went, it was fucking tenfold. Graphically and sound wise, there was always a massive difference, and at the end of the current gen of the time's lifespan, you were just really looking forward to the next gen because it was so much more improved, and you weren't really that fussed about backwards compatibility at the time because the next gen was going to be so much better. That's just me anyway. It could have been different for different age groups, but for me that's how it felt. Right now with the current systems, there doesn't seem like there's that much of a drastic improvement with the next console. I don't feel like there needs to be a next console. I'm quite satisfied with the level of gaming we have at the current moment. I want to say fuck off the motion control gaming as well. Seriously, piss off. That's a different fucking story altogether, but that's got a lot to do with it though, I think, as well. Going back to the whole gamertag PlayStation name thing, I think it's that which has kind of ruined gaming, because you have something so heavily to work for now and to constantly improve and to show your worth as a gamer. You've kind of got more worries. Back in the day, if you used to go and buy a new N64 game, you'd just be happy playing that one game. You'd be happy with the progress that you were making because you wouldn't be able to see the competition, how everybody else was doing. But now, because you've got a friends list, and because you've got achievements, because you've got game score, because you've got trophies, you feel like you're pressured to do well at this title and to improve your score. And they will carry that over to the next systems. I've got no doubt about that. They will carry it over. But the fact that you can't continue it, you won't be able to continue improving it with the old games. It just seems futile. What's the point? What is the fucking point? I'm losing my train of thought here. Basically, yeah, it really does matter to me. So basically, what I think I'm trying to say is that online gaming has killed gaming, and because of that it makes me care about backwards compatibility. I think that's right anyway. What I'm definitely saying is that I like to play a system that has a catalogue of games, and for a new system, not having backwards compatibility is a big deal because you don't have a catalogue of games. You've got the two titles which I mentioned earlier. Backwards compatibility helps. If it doesn't have backwards compatibility in the future and you can buy pre-owned games, I will buy the next system a lot later down the line when I can pick up games cheap for it to extend my experience. I don't want to be forced to play a system and a couple of games that I probably don't have much interest in straight away. The backwards compatibility would help with that because I could play the current games and the old ones at the same time and still make progress on both. Yeah. In the whole 5 or 6 minutes or so that I've been speaking, I could have just said that to begin with. Fuck it. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Cheers, guys.
The short answer is yes.